right? If you release hope and generosity, people who are hopeful and generous can't be corrupted. And so it broke down for me an understanding of the keys to California. The keys to California are that our current leadership are ruling under the guise of fear and greed, right? And greed is basically a belief that there's not enough for everybody, so we have to steal from one another. And fear is the belief that that everyone is your enemy. And neither one of those are true in the kingdom. And so I was like, well, what does it look like to be different than that? And again, I'm coming at this with a very fresh perspective. I'm not, though, naive, because I've led cultural transformation before, and I understand a battle when I see one. And then this is a battle, if not a war. This is a war of a generation over California right now. And so, but it's very clear the war isn't against people. It's not against parties. That's what we've been missing. We keep thinking that our enemy is a party or a person. Our enemy is not that. Our enemy is a cultural belief system, what some people would call a stronghold in the spirit realm. And that's where our fight needs to take place. And so our weapons are hope and generosity, and our campaign pours into that. And we are generous beyond measure. What does that look like? Well, we can't necessarily be financially generous. We have campaign rules that we follow up with, but we share our email list. We give people ideas. We offer to help them in ways that is beneficial to them, not only beneficial to us. These are things that you don't see very often in government or politics, and it's part of transforming the culture. But really, the final moment, the decision was made for me when on February 28th, and the Lord had told me I'll know in February. So true to his word, right on the last day, February 28th, 2021, I cried out to God and I said, if you ask me to do this, like you've been leading me into this, if you ask me to do this, I'm going to lose everything. Like, and the Lord has been faithful to our family. The things that we have, our farm, I had a dream about on my 30th birthday, our business. I went to bed one night planning to quit. I woke up the next morning and felt like it was a thought. I think it was a God thought that was like, buy the business from this guy. Like our blessing has come from being obedient to things that God's asked us to do before. And so I thought, like, if you ask me to do this, everything you've given me is in peril. And you know what he responded? He said, you will. You will.
Wow.
And what I responded, like, what? And he said, that's what it takes to become a public servant. Mm-hmm. And so it was then that I had a choice to make, right? This is not a career move for me. This is not a shift toward anything else. This is an act of surrender like I have never surrendered anything in my life. And it's me saying, okay, if you gave me the skills, the ability, and the experience to do this, which I do not recognize because I don't feel like my voice is the kind of voice that is in this space right now, but I will be obedient. I'll walk into it and I'll do everything that I can with what I have. I'll pour my money, my time, I'll pour my leadership, I'll pour the people that I know into this, and we'll give it everything that we've got. And that's really where the journey began. And I ran in the recall election last year. I raised about $1 million. I didn't win. Gavin Newsom is still our governor. And honestly, like afterwards, I was like, maybe I'll go build a different business. And I started to have this flourishing around classes that I was teaching on finances. And God just again gave me very specific direction. He said, do not charge anything for those classes and don't plan anything after the second week of January. And then again, in February this year, I had another conversation with the Lord. I was like, I don't really want to run again. Can I just help other people? Can I do something else? And the Lord just like through a very long encounter, but the crux of it was, he said, here's the problem. You're thinking about your political career and I'm thinking about California. Which one of us is right? And like, I didn't get into this for a political career in the first place. And that political thing gets on you pretty quickly. And people were like, hey, what about this strategy? If you run for this and then this, then you'll be in a great position and you'll have this fundraising base and you'll do X, Y, and Z. And I was just like, hey, I didn't get into this based on strategy. I didn't get into this based on, picking the perfect time. I'm in a battle that I didn't choose, that I don't really want to be a part of, but I'll fight because I've been prepared to fight. And I'll fight for our kids. I'll fight for our future. I'll fight in this moment if this is my moment. And I'll do it. I'll do it with the same kind of surrender that I've done the rest of my life. And so that's why I'm running. That's why my message is very simple. It's time for California to dream again. The message is one of solutions. Every problem I draw closer to in the state, I'm convinced, as I talk to the experts that are closest to the issues, that there are solutions, but we lack the leadership and the political will to get us to where we need to go. And our future is remarkable. I can see it. Everybody can't yet, but I can see it. I can see with a vision what it looks like to have more than enough water, plenty of businesses, thriving communities, and all of the other reasons that I love California, like the incredible nature that we have. I can see that in the future, but I think now is just my moment to build that for everyone else.